This is FX Medicine. I'm Andrew Whitfield Cook. We're at the 2019 BioCeuticals Research Symposium, and we're here with the interns from 2019. How are you going, guys?
Good.
Now we've got Taryn, Sophie, Greta, and Miranda. So I'm just going to go you from now on, because I will remember. Well, I will forget. But let's go through a few things first about this. Oh, what do you think the purpose of the internship is from your perspective, Taryn?
I thought that for me, it was kind of closing a gap in my education. So I learned a lot about the actual business of creating a supplement and being in a nutraceutical company versus at school we mostly get, how to practice and we get that perspective, but didn't have any kind of education surrounding the actual business of it. So that was a huge gap in my education, and it just filled that gap and more. It was pretty amazing.
Cool. Any of the others?
Yeah, so for me, it expanded my skill set, tapped into skills that I didn't even know I had, and then strengthened ones that I did have. So for me, it was all about diversifying my career in the future. So not just about clinical practice, which is what our universities focus on so much, but just about every facet of this amazing profession. So, yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, I think with what Taryn and Sophie just confirmed is you're almost left in the dark with our degrees, and it's very much clinical based, and you're taught how to be a nutritionist or a naturopath, but anything beyond that is all we don't know anything about it. And so the internship just completely solidated so many alternative paths that we could go on, whether it be sales or regs or there's just such a whole other part of the industry we didn't know anything about.
Miranda?
Yeah, I think the girls pretty much cleared it up. Yeah, it just shows you a completely different side other than practicing. It shows you all those different departments. It just gives you an idea of where you could want to go with it.
Do you think the internship will help you in your professional practice? Will it give you a different view of how things are accomplished?
Definitely. I think when you're prescribing as well, when you're deciding on what products you want to go, you just know how they're made. You just have a better insight into all the products for when you prescribe. Yeah.
Can I also ask, anybody answer, but can I also ask, do you think there is a need, from what you were saying about sort of feeling lost towards the end of studying, do you think therefore there is a need for a probationary period for naturopaths where they're in their clinical situation? Just for instance, like myself as a registered nurse, you join a hospital and the first 6 months or a year is your probate thing. Pharmacists have a pre-reg, doctors have an internship, that sort of thing, right? So there's a year where your skills are under the watchful eye of an experienced practitioner, but you are given more and more responsibility so that you take on the reins, and eventually after that year you are, bang, ready to roll. Do you think there is a need there for naturopathy to have that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are seeing it more and more. We're seeing these mentor groups kind of come up and some fantastic leaders really taking the rein because they've realised that hole in the market and they're like, this needs to be filled. But I'm absolutely all for just having a bit more support into that transition into practice, because we're out there supporting clients and patients. We want to get as much out of it as we can.
Yeah. Sophie?
Yeah, so part of all of our degrees has been a year to 18 months of clinical practice in the college where we are under close watch.
Yeah.
But it's very different being in the uni setting in a clinical practice versus out in the real world. And just like Greta was saying about having those mentorships, I think is becoming so much more popular because they're so much more needed. Another thing I'd like to add is just, new grads and safety and really understanding the research and, interactions and stuff. I think it's amazing to have a mentor to kind of lead you on that path. Yeah.
I don't really have much.
Yes.
Yes,
can I ask then, did the internship offer you some sort of mentorship or clarity to give you some idea about where you wanted to head in the future?
Yeah, definitely for me. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to practice or not. And because we only get that side at school, this really helped me, again, see the other side of it and say, oh, this is actually something I would be interested in doing. Maybe exploring some of the other, the nutraceutical companies and a job there, even if it's only, for a few years until I feel more confident in myself to practice and kind of build up that knowledge base and just kind of get used to, especially as a foreigner. Like, I didn't know a lot about the industry here, and it really helped me kind of get my brain around that and helped me that way.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So we lead on from there about, ingredients, and this is something that I know that you've learned, because there's a real disconnect with what is taught in college and what is allowed or real in the regulatory framework of Australia. So there's a lot of practitioners that might want a certain ingredient. They come to a BioCeuticals Symposium and hear overseas speakers talking about ingredients, and they go, that'd be great. Can't list it. You can't get it in Australia. It's not available. So how has that formed or changed with your learning throughout the internship program? What you've learnt about ingredients and availability?
So we all lived this very closely. So the second half of the internship, it was to create a product from initial thought to basically launch. And, we had amazing ideas for ingredients to put in these products that we wanted to do, but we went to the listings, we can't put that in there, or we can't put that in a product, that's only compounding. So I suppose for me, it showed the complexity of formulating, and I'm just thinking of a couple of ones in particular that was disappointing, but yeah.
What about Greta, answer the same question, please. Yeah.
So for myself in particular, as Sophie was saying, we had to go through this whole process of making a product, and we actually selected CBD, which, as you mentioned, absolutely no way. You can't access it in Australia at all. So it was a fantastic opportunity just to really delve into the CBD area, and also get in contact with some of the people that are at the forefront of trying to get CBD to the line. So we did make a very hypothetical product, but in the near future, it'll be on the shelves. Not our product in particular, but CBD.
Yeah.
But through the internship, it opened up doors just to network with people in the industry, and just had a knock-on effect, and allowed me to attend different conferences all around CBD. So
you're talking about the United in Compassion Symposium,
absolutely, the United in Compassion Symposium, which is all about collaborating. There was a really ground roots feeling at that symposium, just because so many people are passionate about bringing it forward. And I would never have been able to attend if it weren't for this internship. So even stepping away from the products and the individual ingredients, the networking and opportunities that come from it.
So collaborative stuff?
Absolutely, yeah.
Greta?
Oh no, I don't have anything to say.
All right, so moving on from there, what would you say to other practitioners? What would you implore other practitioners to think about the value of an internship and what it can get them from what it's given you, I guess?
Do you mean as taking interns on, or them coming to do the internship?
What about forming or changing or giving clarity to your career as a professional, as a clinician?
You pretty much summed it up. Clarity, direction, it's everything.
Here's my answer. No, you keep
but it just solidates everything, and really solidates our industry and why we're here and why we do what we do.
What about things like raw ingredient procurement and quality issues and all of that sort of thing, Greta? Taryn? See, I did it. Sorry, Taryn.
That's okay. Now I've forgotten the question. No, so bar ingredients. I think it's really important to know as much as you can about the ingredients if you're using a product. And a lot of companies put it up on their websites and some of them don't. So maybe you might have to call them, but I think it's really important to know where these ingredients are coming from, and if it's going to be, therapeutically good for your patient, and it has to be right. And I think most of the companies take that very seriously. But there are a lot of up-and-coming companies maybe, or new companies, or maybe they might be a little shady and you don't know. But obviously the major ones are going to be
I think
really
a lot of practitioners don't know the work that goes behind submissions.
Yeah.
And how many grey hairs are grown.
I will very rarely ever diss a product again.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking at a product ingredient list, and now we understand why they put that in there at that dose and why it couldn't be a higher dose, because otherwise it's going to be in a huge horse tablet and then you're going to get complaints. So it's just so many different facets of formulating that you don't realise as a clinician.
And what about dose restrictions with TGA? Like, for instance, chromium and the type of chromium. So chromic chloride, no restriction, chromium polynicotinate, and you can only have a certain amount per day. So if you want that amount, you can only have that amount of the good one, and this one's got to be the poor sister, It's really interesting, and when you get into it, it's really hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah. So, okay, future directions.
Yeah, still not sure. I still have 1 trimester to go at ACNT, so just kind of keeping an open heart and an open mind, and just kind of, I'm ready for any opportunities that come my way. Maybe I'll start my own practice. I don't really know where I'm going to go yet. So, but it's just been a huge opportunity for me, as everyone was saying, with the networking and the knowledge. It's irreplaceable.
Can I ask, has it given you an extra facet boost amount of confidence to approach whatever career choice you make?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for all of us.
Yeah. That was going to be my point, is that before the internship, I think it's normal human behaviour to not, have a lot of confidence when you're at uni, especially. And after the internship, it's, oh, okay, I can do this. I was scared out of my brain before I walked in that door. But now it's like I'm so much more comfortable networking and, walking up to people and introducing yourself and whatnot. So, yeah.
Greta?
Yeah, I guess for all of us, it was our first step into the actual industry and transforming from this, timid little student to actually foot in the door, and just being surrounded by people at the head of our industries. So it did really boost your confidence. A lot of people talked about how fantastic it'd look on a resume, but it's a piece of paper. The confidence and everything that comes with it, is...
Piece of paper doesn't cut it in the end, does it, Greta?
Absolutely.
Yeah, really, it was just...
I've said it again, haven't I, Greta?
Miranda. Yeah, it was just really such a priceless opportunity to go through. It just gives you such a big boost of confidence. I have such a soft spot for practicing, so I realise that's the path I want to go down, but it's now made it clear what I want to do. Yeah,
okay.
So it was such an amazing opportunity. I would still be open to working for one of these companies or going into that kind of side of it, but I think for now, I'm I
think that's a really important thing. To me, the internship isn't about necessarily working with a company. It's about the knowledge and the skill set as a clinician. That you can take for that. I remembered one of the interns a couple of years ago, I think. Her passion, we're talking about future directives, her passion was to open a preschool food sort of thing. It was just incredible, and that gave her the confidence afterwards. And it was just amazing to see this lady blossom. That to me was just beautiful. So I'm going to get teary. Weird. So I see 4 competent, confident, strong women ahead of me here, and I just wish you all the best for your future directions in whatever career direction you choose. So well done. Good on you for tackling it and making it through. And well done to you to whatever you choose to decide in the future. This is FX Medicine. I'm Andrew Whitfield Cook.